introduce themselves. They will say their states, governmental affairs.
From Imo.
This is an informed forum, and as I've said, I don't want to dwell on why we need to support the candidature of Vice President Atiku Abubakar for the office of the President of this nation. Interestingly, quite a number of us have had the opportunity to work with him as members of the Federal Executive Council when he was the Vice President. Some of us were governors who worked with him. Some of the milestones of the administration under which he served as Vice President have continued to be the landmarks of our party and standard of reference in the leadership of this country. And I think that we will not be misplacing our mandate if we support him to take the leadership of this country in 2023. I know as a fact that the major reforms that were embarked by the Obasanjo administration in almost all the sectors, particularly the economic sector, he was a key player. I can't forget his leadership qualities when he was presiding over the National Economic Council and when some of us were in office as governors. And I don't think as a country today, we need a leader that will come and learn on the job. Vice President Atiku is not coming to learn on the job. And we all know that he will hit the ground as soon as he is elected and sworn in as our president in 2023. He will not take 6 months to form his cabinet. And we will have this country restored in all aspects of our national life. So I commend our leader, our president in waiting, to all of you. As I've said, this is an informed forum. You know the challenges of this country. You know what we are going through. And the issue on the table today in this party is the issue of zoning. But we are too educated enough not to continue to dwell on this. I think the most important thing for us is taking power before we do any other thing. Thank you very much.
In the region of PDP, we got our leader here, leading us here, who sent the invitation. So it's only fair for us to constitute that you can speak on our behalf. And then after anybody will speak, whether good or whether you can call me. But then for now, I think it's a little bit inappropriate for me to start to speak for him. Thank you. Chairman, please speak for us.
He's our mentor. Before you is one of the founders of where we are today, PDP. He has come to speak to us, and we have followed him to listen to him. Nigeria, as we find ourselves, is in the ICU, irrespective of party affiliation where it belongs to. Except you want to commit suicide. You go by road to Kaduna today without police, even with police. That is what Nigeria is today. Now, how can we get out of this ICU? ICU, a patient in ICU, sir, will not require a North or South or Igbo or Yoruba doctor to treat him. ICU is 75% danger. And according to my late mother that didn't go to school, she said when she heard the word danger, she knows that the sound alone is dangerous, it's bad. Nigeria is bad, whether we like it or not. Today, this afternoon, you must have seen the social media, somewhere in Nemo or so, INEC, and they killed 32 because they went to go and register. 32 were, if including children.
Yes.
I have the video.
I have the video.
This is where Nigeria is now. So we are not, whether zoning or no zoning, Igbo or not. It is only when there is war or when there is a woman, according to my adage in Benin, that the woman will hold her breast running. When there is war, she doesn't know whether she has breast. We don't know where we are today. And the only person that can take us out of this mess is the man that have prepared to be president of Nigeria, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. And there are two persons that have prepared that I know of, and I can prove is late Obafemi Awolowo and Atiku Abubakar.
Yeah.
That prepared to be president of Nigeria. I'll take an example. When he was contesting with his younger brother, Yaradua, he did say he's going to establish the Ministry of Niger Delta. But when Yaradua became president, what happened? He started Ministry of Niger Delta. But what was imbibed in that ministry were not carried along. Ladies and gentlemen, you are all stakeholders. You decide what happened. Whether president or former minister, a minister is a minister. Because you have sat down at a particular time in your life to decide the fate of others. Yes, you came to the National Assembly. But yes, you are the executive that turns our neck in the legislature. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, you listen to him. We are crying in Nigeria. We are suffering and smiling. We cannot talk. They have moved us from, they said they are from top to bottom. That's where we are now. We are down. How can we get out of this mess? That's why we are here. So all those who are contesting on that PDP are more than qualified to be president of Nigeria. Nothing wrong about it. But Atiku Abubakar raised his head higher than the rest. Therefore, gentlemen, I join, and ladies, I join every one of us to remember this great man who has given himself, his life to Nigeria. Atiku Abubakar is a name in Nigeria. In every family, there are some brocades today that's called Atiku. As for me and my household, I've taken Atiku mycin vaccine against Corona APC23. God bless everyone.
Nigeria, one people of saving, restoring hopes, and uniting.
Sule has been troublesome all his life. And he is my younger brother.
I am indeed. Very true.
Former governors, former honorable ministers, and also my colleagues. Good evening. First of all, let me apologize for running a little bit late. You know, this is Ramadan month and Muslims pray too much. The PDP brought the most innovative and progressive reforms in this country. And that was why from 1999 to 2015, we witnessed economic boom. All of us here were part of that administration that brought about that economic boom. Today, we are witnessing the worst times in both economic endeavor or sector, name it, security, unity, name it. I think we have a responsibility, not that I think, but I believe we have a responsibility, those of us who are seated here tonight, to reverse this ugly trend. Therefore, it is up to us to unite and bring about the reversal of the current situation. But for the economic reforms we introduced during our tenure, the PDP administration, perhaps we would not be sitting in this hotel. I believe if PDP were to remain in power till today, there would have been maybe about 10 of this type of hotel all over Abuja. But we are still here, one single international hotel. And but for the fact that we had privatized it, it would have been run down completely. It was said that we won the last election, but we were robbed. If we had achieved nearly 12 million votes during the last election, why would we want to reverse? I believe we should, and we have the capacity here, to let the party realize that we, as we are saying, I'm not claiming it, all of us were responsible, we should be given the right of first refusal. Because all of us achieved it. It's not only me. So, Your Excellencies, honorable ministers, I am presenting myself before you tonight and requesting and appealing for your support in that right of first refusal, because we all deserve it. I believe that this coming election will either make or mar Nigeria. We should think deeply about that. So the issue of North, South, West, East, Muslim, Christian, or which ethnic group should be secondary. The most important point or issue is that how do we win this election? We can't afford to be in opposition for another 8 years, meaning 16 years of opposition. No matter how powerful, how entrenched a political party is, if it remains out of power for 16 years, that party will definitely decline. Let's think about that. How do we make sure that in the next election, no matter what, our party returns to power, so that we can continue, not only continue, but we can repair the damage that has been done since 2015. Because I don't think it has been governance, any governance whatsoever, since 2015. We all know, we don't have to be told, that this country has been going down and down and down. We have a responsibility to ourselves, to our children, to our grandchildren. Some of us here fought the military to return this country to democracy. We were lucky to be alive. Some of us did not live to see it. I think, ladies and gentlemen, this is a reflection I want all of you to make. And this is, I believe, for some of us, a lifetime decision to make. Like Governor Boni Haruna said, you are all very well informed. I don't think there is any need for anybody to stand up and start saying, this is why we should do this is why we should do that. Because, come on, we have governed this country before, and we have governed it successfully. Why should anybody come and tell you which direction to go and which direction not to go? If you are really patriotic enough, patriotic for our country, patriotic for our party, you don't need anybody to tell you that. So, Your Excellencies and honorable colleagues, I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity to appear before you tonight. First of all, I'm overwhelmed. Now, there are so many of you I have not seen over the years. We thank God for His mercies, for sparing our lives. This is a great reunion. And I hope after the successful outcome of 2023, we will gather again as a bigger reunion and celebrate for this country, celebrate for its future, and celebrate for the next generation of Nigerians. I thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. God bless you all. Thank you.
This one more presentation.
Fantastic.
Actually, His Excellency has written a letter of appreciation and solicitation to
BOT Executive.
The Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999 to 2007, and our last presidential candidate, as well as the Waziri of Adamawa. Distinguished former members of the Federal Executive Council and other eminent leaders who are part of Waziri's entourage, a very good evening to each and every one of us. Waziri, we know you, and you know us also. Today, more than any other time, Nigeria is in dire need of leadership. Credible leadership, a leadership that has courage. Courage to take decisive decisions that will propel this nation forward. A leadership that will inspire confidence in the minds of every Nigerian, that will rekindle that fire of patriotism and nationalism. Courage that will want every Nigerian to love Nigeria again, as we used to. Today, we need a leader that is compassionate. We need a leader that is selfless. We need a leader that is fair-minded. We need a leader that will be just and equitable to all manners of people, without regards to creed and the circumstances of their birth or life. We need a leader who will lead from the front. not from the rear. We need a leader whose words will be his bound. Some of us here prepared the 2019 presidential campaign. I can see His Excellency Governor Wike and myself were the national headquarters as Deputy Director Generals, and a lot of other people here who were in the field. There were a lot of issues then that were germane to the survival of Nigeria as a country, to the survival of Nigerians as a people. I dare say that those issues are even more profound now. We know, Waziri, you can do it. We know, Waziri, from your records, you have institutional memory. And that is why when my sister, Director of Delegates and Mobilization, spoke to me and we presented the request of having this interaction with you, all former ministers said, Waziri, we must sit with you. It is not every presidential aspirant that want to see us that we see. We sift. It's not everybody that wants to see us that we sift. In this hall, you have experience, you have knowledge, you have institutional memory that could span 100 years condensed in 16 years of PDP leadership in this country. Anybody you know very well, sir, that had served at the Federal Executive Council level, look at Nigeria from a very broad perspective, rather than from a narrow perspective. Because whatever we did while we were in office, we were looking at Nigeria. That was the picture. And that has meant to be the focal point of each and every one of us here. Every former minister today is a leader in his state. Among us here, sir, you have members of the BOT. You have chairmen of chairmen. You have members of NEC. You have members of National Caucus of our party. And you have founding fathers of PDP. So in terms of influence and capacity and capabilities and wherewithal and can-do spirit, I dare say that there is no organ. I'm not talking of a body now. There is no organ that is more influential than former ministers of the federal government. That we agreed to have this interactive session with you, sir, is a mark of respect that we have for you. Because anybody who is here as a former minister had either worked with you directly or worked with somebody who worked with you. So in essence, they worked with you. There are, however, certain issues that raise some concerns. And we feel as leaders that we can open up on these issues and then maybe talk to ourselves and talk to each other. It may appear that the gauntlet is on the ground for PDP to pick it and win the election in 2023. We hope we will, sir. But wittingly or unwittingly, consciously or unconsciously, there are certain issues which under normal circumstances should not take pivotal position in the scheme of things, especially within our party, the PDP. Unfortunately, however, those issues are today being spawned by us within our party and by our friends in other political parties, especially the APC. I think we need to be very careful. In 2019, 11 of us participated in the primaries of PDP. I'm sure it's Haja Zainab Maina. She's in hospital. She wants to say maybe a goodwill. Let me please quote him. We've said her apology. We were able to talk to ourselves. I recall when I came to see you, sir, and we spoke for about 3 hours. And since then, both of us remained faithful to our discussions. Never in the history of political parties management in Nigeria had there been a primary that was free, fair, equitable like the 2019 primary. When you won Waziri, the remaining 10 of us lined up behind you. As we did say, we are going to line up behind you. We see some ominous clouds now in the air, which may not prove to be well for the party. What are you people doing, sir, to foster cooperation among the aspirants? I understand by yesterday there are about 17 of them. If we have 17 aspirants in PDP, it means then that the people believe in PDP. But for us who understand what is happening deep down under the table, it may not be well for us. But it's important, sir, that things are done like have been done before. Let us get the commitment of each and every one of the people. We want to move in and out in a very seamless manner because we don't have time, sir. We need to take over power. Yes, historically, the struggle for power had never been an easy one. It has always been very fierce. We know you have the strength. Even though you are not Sarkin Yaki, you are Waziri. But I know you are not afraid of Yaki also. So there are some of our colleagues that may want to raise 1 or 2 issues also that would like you to respond, to get some assurances from you. Because some of them have been giving us concern. But let me say, every one of us here that stretched into the corner there are people that are ready to give their lives for PDP. Just like you said, sir, PDP has done everything for us. That we've had the rare and singular opportunities to sit at the highest level of decision making in this country and then be part of history. For us, as far as PDP is concerned, it's payback time. And I assure you, sir, that we have done it before. You said we won election. Yes, we won election. Because apart from those of us who worked in the field, and we won the election, some of us had to wear our professional robes to go into the court again and defend that mandate. But what had happened had happened. What steps also, sir, are we taking to make sure that if we win, that victory will not be taken out from us again? Because some aporists say, once beaten, twice shy. We've been beaten, we want to now beat them back. We don't want to be shy, we want to beat them back. So with these few remarks of mine, sir, let me thank you so much for this opportunity you gave us to have this interactive discussion with you.
On a personal note, at the maternal level, he is our own from Lucy. And the president from Lucy, yes, we don't know about that, and we are promoting him. Look at it. So having said that, so it's really his mind in terms of our relationship. So when people on this side stood up, pouring all the comment on you, who are they telling you to us here? Exactly. No, really. To us here. So we formed the PDP in 1998 with you. Then we had the vision of Nigeria, arising from our experience of June 12th, where we lost mutual love between Nigerians. That thing called trust was missing in it. So we said, look, this was called by the military. It's not a problem. What do we do as civilians to unite? So you know it. So at that time, there are people who are called thinkers and leaders. What can Nigeria fight for anything else? And from the PDP in 1998, we said, what do we do to restore that thing called trust between Nigerians? Called by military amendment. So the issue of zoning came up. Zoning was a one-time phenomenon. That's all. To address a particular injury in Nigeria. And it worked because they are leading thinkers. By the time we formed the government, in the first 2 years, Nigeria was thoroughly reconciled. In the first 2 years. In terms of the economy, you are ahead of the team. So what I'm saying is that we know you more than anybody because we know your capacity. We know you are committed to Nigeria. We know your love for Nigeria. So nobody should come here and sell you to us because they are our own product. You are our own invention, our own creation. Not this. Then they come on board after I take office. So the people who normally are part of the but in Nigeria today, what we are going through, we lost our sense of direction as a nation. Because people around now have no idea how people were in 1998. They have no idea what we discuss, what are the issues. Because there are no leaders now, there are no thinkers. Like we are simply pursuing the ephemeral interest. But then why is the country? People will say, so why is the country? My brother, talk about not going to Abuja from Abuja. Where is the country? The country is being destroyed by somebody from our own zone. Fellow Fulani man, a northerner, a Muslim, my own type. Today, his failure is narrating on me. All of us are being seen as people who are incompetent, who are nepotistic, who are everything evil to this north because of Buhari. And Buhari is not my own creation. He was an APC creation. So why should Buhari's failure affect PDP? What is zoning? Be kind of the northern southern program for the parties. Today in Nigeria, you find southern governors coming together. Southern governors, all 18 people that talk about Nigeria, which means creating a big divide. By my history, way back in 1978, I was from the left of the left. I was NEPU PRP, believing in our common humanity, believing in Nigeria, believing in Nigerians. And so to me, all my life, I've been saying, look, what is there for me for Nigeria first? We're all there as ministers. We're not about government and governance. We've been there. This country has dignified us. This country has honored us. What are we doing now to pay back Nigeria? What should Nigeria give us? That's the question. What are we doing? So it's because there are no leaders today. That's why people know party boundaries. Say, it's our own time, our own song, our own religion, our own zone. Therefore, Nigeria is being abandoned. We are pursuing the people. Nigeria is right behind us. So Nigeria is now fatigued. It's tired of us. So what are we doing to show Nigeria? So in terms of whatever you say, in terms of whatever could face you. They say in Hausa, they say so. It means a boy knows the kind of woman he can marry. If she's too beautiful, a big woman from a family, she's from a very small family, you can't see what time. Because the eyes are the measure. You look at those status. So, telling us about Waziri, but I mean, we all know him. But then the country today, the new generation of WhatsApp, Twitter, social, Facebook, this is the entire landscape is distorted. We can't even speak the truth. Today you issue a threat about zone that it's going to be us or PDP. I mean, they say it. So, you see, sir, you have a burden on your head. And we here should be able to have the courage of our beliefs to be very, very honest to Nigeria. What do we do to save Nigeria from PDP? By the year 2023, if we falter and make a mistake, this country will simply evaporate. It's not there anymore. If you look at a sovereign country, by definition, Nigeria is not there anymore. Because anywhere where democracy cannot go on account of insecurity, that place under the money, not under him anymore. So it means Kaduna, Zamfara, other other part of Nigeria now. They are not. Speak, this is not related. Internationally, anywhere where you cannot go there of threats. What is related means the bandits are not dominant there. Therefore, they take the whole story. So it's not part of Nigeria. Part of Nigeria is for God to be able to go anywhere he wants. Anywhere, at any time. Today, there's crisis somewhere. They say, but he cannot go there because of the security situation. If he cannot go there, then how safe are you? The commander-in-chief, I'll tell you a story. Under Jonathan, when there was a bomb here in Madala, Father Papa called me. He said, Sule, we normally we joke. So what I just said, Sule, please, I'm not joking. I need it. I said, Father, what is it? He said, Sule, you people are there killing me. He felt this. There was a bomb in Madala on Sunday. And today is Wednesday. I didn't put the dog on there. People are killing in church. And nobody has been there yet because he's afraid. I said, okay, please forgive me. So I came to Abuja, met the president. I said, son, you are our commander-in-chief. There was a bomb here in Madala. Nobody is. Madala, Abuja here, Madala? Yes. I said, sir, because of what you fear, you can't go there. Now, if you fear going there, what is the fate of those who are in that place? What is their fate? So I said, sir, please call your spirit. You say, tomorrow I'm going to Madala. I'm going there tomorrow. Simple. Give them orders. It's for them to secure you. But when you say, Ogasa, blah, blah, and they threaten you, and you become inactive and dormant and docile. So he said, okay, sir. Following day, I'm going to Madala tomorrow. And he went on Thursday and came back. He went. Yes. So it is really a leadership. You need courage. A leadership knows nothing called human feeling and human empathy. That you are leading human beings whose entire life, are under their own story. And because we are abandoned. So today in Nigeria, we're being abandoned. You can't go to the like they say. I mean, today in Nigeria, they are even bombing a rail track. A rail track to rob people. A rail track. Anywhere you go. Anywhere you go, somebody from the north. Our own son. Our own fellow Fulani. As our president. So, the issue of this only thing is being pursued by people who have no idea what is called Nigerian history. What was the philosophy behind it? They have no idea. But the other thing, if you go for zoning, okay, take it. What do you do with it? Take it. What do you do with it? No, really.
It's true.
If you force me, if you say you must take it, then it means I don't matter to you. I don't matter to you anymore. Because you are intimidating me, you are coercing me, you are going to take it. Let's say fight and go. So there are layers in the party where they are leaders. Ministers Forum, former Governors Forum, BOT, we must have the courage so that I say, look, there are things we should not tolerate.
Thank you.
Simple. We need to look at Nigeria and see our history and look around when the Committee of Nations. Today we have no name, we have no image in Nigeria. We have no image. You know what America is about corruption. You know, this thing is SEC, security, economy, and corruption. Which in Nigeria, you know, Buhari can, you know, what do you call what you know, where are we today? On the economy, on security, on corruption. But when Buhari came, I've been saying, you see, he looked at the entire north. And so anybody standing in the north must be sneered, must be maligned, so that we can be used and carry more of. In the northwest where I came from, in Sokoto, he picked my brother here, that is corrupt. He picked Ben Lahandelu, one of the party, with his own son. Went to Sokoto, picked Bafarawa and his own son. Went to Kaduna, picked Shema. You know, went to Jikawa and picked me and mentioned that, you know, we are thieves. We've been smeared. And you know, people say, don't mind them. So we're being forced to go into a moral coma. Oh yes, we're being forced to, because we've been smeared by who? By somebody who is the father and mother of corruption. You know it. Buba, his uncle who was formerly selling the church card. You know how much it was? So you see, we are leaders. Nigeria has been there for us. We could have very, very clear history. In the next 20 years, beyond Buhari, beyond Sulawesi, beyond President Atiku, there will be Nigeria. Of the younger generation, what are we doing to give the country the kind of secure country which will be there for the future? So to me, Mr. Okili and Mr. Asper, you know your colleagues who are aspiring. They know you very well. They know your level. They know your standard. Call them. Call them. Say to them, look, why are we aspiring? This is my background. So, sir, we know you very well. We know your capacity. If we're going to go for people with the capacity, with the experience, we know where they are. However, if we're going to go by our own emotions and sentiment, north, south, zone, whatever, then of course, then I just been abandoned. So, sir, enlarge your consultation. It's very, very important. You know, there are people who are key players in Nigeria, who are not in politics. You know, the emirs, the imams, the clerics. You know, they are all there. And they are looking for somebody who will be there for them, somebody who can give a casual yes. Nigeria is safe under him. Sultan said so. He said, this country is God. So, sir, you must know, spend your life here, you know, go out. And say, look, this is what I offer Nigeria. Because this is about economy, can only be there if not in graveyard. You don't give it in graveyard. You know, if we're all dead, how do you give us, you know, social services? But then let us return Nigeria first. A single family or Nigeria where love, trust, will be Nigeria. And they say, if there is no trust, there will be no love. If there is no love, there will be mutual respect. If you don't have it, there will be no stability. If you don't have it, there is no security, and therefore there will be no development. So the foundation is first, preach nation unity first. Nation unity. Today, the PDP is very, very divisive. Very, very divisive. And so you've been there since 1998. You all know today, all of you. You've been in Ghana. So you're in council meetings. And you'll be able to, you've been over what's called Nigeria today. Why the country which you know you governed 6 years ago? It's gone. So you see, people like me who are fairly getting old, I'm not 74. I've been saying, God, I came from a very small village. In the last state, God in His own mercy was guiding me. I was in the house in 1979. House of 79. None of my colleagues is now standing. All the house, you know, most of them are either too old to even speak, or most of them are dead. But then God has been guiding me all through. I went to SDP. And then I became, you know, I went into PDP, became a foreign minister, became a governor. So it means God has been very, very kind to me, but then Nigeria has been the space where I go. It is Nigeria first more than anything else. People contribute. So let us see how we can really make some kind of sacrifice for Nigeria. What do we do? So, sir, please engage younger brothers. You know them. Call them. Sit down with them. Discuss issues. Go into deals. Go into negotiation, whatever it is. Because when somebody would be there, by the time you're there, you can go and see with the 2 eyes open, with the 2 eyes closed. The idea of having a country whereby you're sure of tomorrow cannot work. So to me, all of you are qualified, but then some are overqualified, some are underqualified. Thank you very much.
Very well-informed personalities. I want to start with Osita's issue, which of course borders on insecurity, which is now the most prevalent challenge in the country. Osita, I can tell you that it all boils down to leadership. And I will give you a practical example when we were in government. Both President Obasanjo and myself read a lot. Every night, they bring you security report of all crimes that are or have been conducted in the country. Every night, they bring you those security reports. And every night, both President Obasanjo and I will read those reports. And in the morning, I will go to him. Before I go to him, if it is something I can take up with the Inspector General of Police, I will call the Inspector General of Police and say, IG, why should there be a crime at such a location, and such a location, and such a location? If there is any repetition, we are going to hold you accountable. And you can't tell me anything about police work because I was also trained by the police. So he will sit up. And then I will report to the president. At a point in time when I had to speak to a particular IG and warn him 3 times on the phone, I called the president and said, Mr. President, this IG is not competent. The president said, what do you want, VP? I said, fire him. He said, go ahead and fire him. And I fired the IG. He said, go and bring a replacement. I just went to the seniority list of the police and I took the one who has, an air record from secondary school up to university. I said, this is the man who, and the man came and performed better. So it's a question of leadership. When those boys started Boko Haram in 2002 in Yobe, we sat down with the president and called the service chiefs. It's either you go and crush this or you get out. And they went and crushed it. So it is a question of leadership. I can tell you this. And to show you that there is no leadership now, few months ago, not more than 2 months, I went on a visit to Niger State and then called on the governor. And the governor was telling me about the insecurity in Niger State. He said he does not know how elections will be conducted in about 12 local governments. I said, haven't you reported it to the president? He said, I went and reported to the president, and the president said, what can I do? The Inspector General of Police and the Police Service Commission, they are in court dragging who is going to employ and who is not going to employ. I say, me as a president, Inspector General of Police and Police Service Commission are in court? I can't take that. And that is why we still are. Unless the court pronounces who is going to recruit, who is not going to recruit, the president is sitting down. I can't do it. Of course, when Gige was kidnapped, President Obasanjo was not here. He was in East Africa. I called the Inspector General of Police then. I said, look, if you don't free Gige, I am going to fire you before President Obasanjo returns. And he immediately went and brought out Gige. So it is basically an issue of leadership. With the right kind of leadership, you can tackle the insecurity. And let me also give you another example. I was reading through United Nations report, and I found that the UN report on security said Nigeria was under police. I walked up to the president, I said, Mr. President, Nigeria is under police. He said, what do we do? I said, let's recruit more policemen and equip them. He said, like how many? I said, about 50,000. He said, let's go ahead. How do we do? I said, let's reopen all the police colleges that have been shut and recruit police and train them and equip them. And we did. He said, what about the equipment? I said, no contracts. I called the Inspector General of Police and his people. I said, tell me what equipments do you need? They say, we need this and this and this. I said, from which countries? They said, from this. I said, call me the ambassadors of those countries to my office. They called them. I said, look, no contracts. We want to negotiate direct. How much discount are you giving us on this equipment, that equipment, that equipment? And we agreed and signed an agreement there, direct with the countries. They went and manufactured while we were training our policemen and equipping them. And since then, they have not been properly equipped till today. Now, it's leadership. There is no magic about it. It's leadership. If you don't have the right leadership, then I'm sorry for you. That is what is facing us. Again, somebody raised the issue of zoning or no zoning. This issue cropped up towards the end of the Constitutional Conference. Most of us were politicians there, except those who were nominated by government and so on and so forth.
I was nominated by government. But I was a politician.
Yes. But at the closing of the Constitutional Conference, we all agreed as politicians, whichever party you found yourself, your presidential candidate should come from the Southwest. On our own, we agreed because we believed and we knew that the Southwest was wounded, was cheated. So we came out. Those who form PDP, we form PDP. Those who form AD, form AD. Those who form NPP, and so on, formed it. And at the end of the day, we in the PDP came with a presidential candidate from the Southwest. Then AD and NPP went into alliance and again brought out a presidential candidate from the Southwest. Yes. And that was how we closed that chapter, as Sule was inferring. So that is where the issue of zoning came about. So we as Nigerians know the sensibilities of each part of this country. And on our own, we can sit down and attend to those sensibilities and make sure everybody is accommodated. But it comes with the right type of leadership. Now let me give you another example. When Umaru died, we went to bury him in Katsina. I came back here in the night. From the airport, I drove straight to the villa. I met Jonathan. I said, Mr. President, you are going to be president. But you know, you are going to be president to complete Umaru's term. You are junior to me. I am more experienced than you. I offer to be your vice president. When you finish Umaru's time, we reverse. I become president and you become my vice president. After that, you take over. He said, no, they will kill me. In Niger Delta, they will kill me. I said, I don't want you to be dead. continue. This is where we are today. So, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I thought I should respond to some of these issues that have been raised. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thanks for checking out SYMFONI on YouTube. Please be sure to subscribe and like our videos for updates.